Sally and David, and welcome to our webinar. So we just want to dive straight in. You're obviously here because you're interested in creating income and more time online, and we thought we'd start by just introducing ourselves a little bit and then diving into the nitty-gritty. We don't want to take up too much of your time.
And don't we have some questions to ask of those watching?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So first of all, I have a background in law. I left the law almost 10 years ago, and I've since had a coaching and events business working with women. And so that's really kind of my background. Do you want to just say a little bit about you?
I'm a chiropractor and been a chiropractor for just over 15 years. Now, and fortunate enough to not have to work the standard 45 hour a week job that a lot of other people do. So I do have a little bit of a flexibility with that, but really love being a chiropractor, helping other people. But as you'll hear with our stories as we get right into it, there was always a search for something else.
Absolutely. So we're obviously together. We're a married couple. We have 2 kids, and we're really excited to share a little bit about our story and really dive into the nitty-gritty of this business, because it has been absolutely life-changing for us. So I'm going to start with a couple of questions, and that is, number one. Do you dream of spending more time with your family, spending more time with your good friends, spending more time
doing what you want?
Yeah, pursuing your passions and you're really giving back in life.
Do you wish you made more money, even if it's in a couple grand a month, extra, maybe $5 grand a month, maybe $2 grand a month, maybe 25 grand a month extra? What we'll go through today with you, we'll show you the steps that you can take to actually achieve that with real world results. We're not talking fairy tale numbers here, but actually people that are doing this day in, day out, month in, month out.
Absolutely. So Dave, why don't you start with your story?
So my story, keeping it relatively short, is as a chiropractor, I've always realized that if I'm injured, I injure my arms, legs, and many other things, then I no longer have an income. Yes, I have disability insurance. Yes, I'm covered for that. But for a long while now, I've always looked for something in terms of a residual income, something that would support myself, me and Sal, our family, moving forward. I think my injury that happened was about 10 years ago. Unfortunately, and I won't go into the details, but unfortunately dislocated my elbow. Obviously, that leaves me unable to practice, to see patients, to basically create an income. And this happened months after I opened a new clinic in New Zealand, and affected us pretty close to heart, if you will, financially, just gut-wrenching with the injury. But since then, both of us, I would say, have looked for ways of creating residual income, or an automatic income, if you will, off to the side that's not reliant on me or Sal putting in time, or if I'm injured or not. Obviously, no one wants to get injured, but just keeps on trucking along when we're not injured. So we've been looking for a while. Maybe Sally can go into some of the details of what we look for, what we didn't look for. Mm-hmm. But what we found here is exactly checking all the boxes with what we want. And we're not trying to leave a whole bunch of questions up in the air. We will answer a lot of questions as we go through this. But for us, what we're doing is exactly congruent with how we want it to be.
Absolutely. And so I come at this from a slightly different angle to Dave. I mean, obviously, his injury really affected my life as well, because we really were under pressure financially with a business overhead, having to pay a locum doctor to see all of Dave's patients because he didn't have a business associate in the clinic at that time. However, for me, as I mentioned before, I used to be a lawyer, and I was extremely unhappy in that profession. It's not to say that there weren't aspects of it that I did enjoy. However, that 40-hour working week was just doing my head in, having to ask pretty much permission to go to the toilet. And so as a result of how I was feeling in that career, I decided to leave it almost 10 years ago. And that really was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And first first of all, I started out organizing women's wellness events. I was, working with Dave in the clinic, which was a lot of fun. However, I wanted something more for myself. And I'd always been the go-to person for my friends, getting advice. I have a little bit of a knack of, helping people get really into the heart of what's going on for them, probably as a result of my own personal journey, which is another story that I might tell you sometime at a future date. However, I decided that at that point in time, it was a good idea to train and become a coach. So here I am, training to be a coach. We had a 3-month-old baby. We were on the way to moving to Ottawa from Auckland, New Zealand. And so there we were, on the precipice of massive change in our lives. And I had this new coaching business that I was trying to build. And at the end of the day, we basically moved to Ottawa with a young baby, 2 startup businesses, because
my
Dave,
clinic from scratch,
starting his clinic, and me with my coaching business. And it was incredibly hard, financially, emotionally. We didn't really have a support network. I mean, Dave's parents were amazing, but at the end of the day, it was tough times, tough going for us. And the biggest challenge I faced as a coach was creating enough warm leads, a diet of enough warm leads coming into my business that I could convert into paying coaching clients. The clients that I worked with had amazing results. However, it was just getting in front of enough people and taking them through a process where at the end of the day, they said yes to working with me. And that was the piece that I struggled with in my business the most. And I think that really kind of leads very well into explaining what happened in terms of this particular
because you're such
business.
a phenomenal coach. The problem was just, again, onboarding people to coaching with you. Every time you coach someone, phenomenal results, but it was just the system leading up to that.
Yeah. And not even like the conversion at the end, I have no problem with sales. It was more about getting in front of enough people and, because it's a numbers game at the end of the day in business. So what happened was, we were really looking for a residual income opportunity. However, we weren't interested in a traditional network marketing company or an MLM, were we?
Not at all.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons, including we didn't want to have to carry stock.
No.
We didn't want to have to sell or feel like we had to sell to friends and family or meet monthly minimums.
Or go, do demonstrations. Sharing products and, all of that jazz.
And there's nothing wrong with those. For some people, they actually quite enjoy that. But for us, it wasn't the right fit with what we saw us or how we would create a income moving forward. We didn't want to do those sorts of things. So again, I can't stress that we did look for so long.
Yeah.
Multiple times. We had multiple meetings with many different kind of businesses, approaches, if you will. But it wasn't until this opportunity that we're going to dive into now that it felt really congruent to us.
Yeah. And that was the thing. We were asking the question, how can we create residual income without having to do all of those things that we just mentioned? And it was around about that time that, we're all on social media, right? You have potentially come to this webinar through social media. And I saw a good friend of mine and, a fellow chiropractor of Dave's talking about, this online mostly automated marketing system or platform that she was using to generate some phenomenal results. And of course, we've been looking for a while, so interest was automatically piqued.
We wanted more information, which is always the first step.
Yep. And so I reached out to Tamara and asked her, what are you doing? This sounds amazing. And lo and behold, she presented it all to us. We went through the process and got to the end and were like, wow, you
wanted to jump right in and do it right away. I was just like, what they're talking about is, it's got to be too good to be true.
Yeah. But, I am the early adopter in our relationship, and you...
I more analyze things.
Yeah, you analyze, and you're more do your due diligence. Yeah. So I'm like, here, Dave, check this out. It's friggin' awesome. It's totally aligned with who we are and what we're about. And he was like, yeah, like that sounds good. However, how many other things have you presented to me in the course of the 12 years we've been together? Yeah. And so, which is fair enough. So, you know, Dave took a look at it, and at the end of the day, you were just like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is awesome.
For a variety of reasons, upon which we've already talked about. But again, what we liked was when you look at it and actually get into the details, a one-off investment.
Yeah.
Commission is unbelievable, which it is. Again, no carrying stock, no doing presentations, no selling to friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to others that are currently doing it, and every single one, loves it, has fun with it. But again, also is doing it to create that time and money freedom, which is ultimately, I think, what it comes down to for people. And if we can do it, there's no reason why other people can't do it as well.
Yeah. So in terms of, you know, what we're talking about, you're like, okay, just bring it and tell me what it is. So this has been built by some of the top internet marketers on the planet, and it is an online platform or system that has been created, which is mostly automated, which takes people, including us, we've been through the process, takes people through a coaching and then information,
answering any and all questions,
information series like webinars, etc., explaining exactly what the business is and it's built around a product that is in the health technology space that we absolutely love. I mean, it's totally aligned for us.
Yep.
We'll get into that a little bit in a little bit. And so effectively, like if we're going to be totally upfront and honest with you, it's basically a sales funnel. It is a marketing and sales funnel that takes you through a process, and at
that
the
we
end,
didn't create.
That we didn't create. This was created by people that actually know. And why this is relevant also to me in particular is I never nailed that piece in terms of creating a sales funnel that worked in my coaching business. So when we saw this, you know, like a mostly automated system that was taking people through a process and selling to them at the end and converting at the end, we were just like, wow, like we've got to get our hands on this, because it takes, you know, it can take, like, I mean, I think this system itself took, you know, well over $1 million to build,
set up,
and get set up. And, you know, like we have access to it, and it actually does convert. So, you know, that was just, you know, for me, it was just music to my ears. I was like, where do I sign up? Get me on board.
Why don't you talk about the sales that we did in the first week and the first, well, year to date, because we haven't been doing it a year.
Well, yeah. So in terms of, so as I said, like, I mean, obviously in the back end of the sales funnel, just like every other company on the planet, you know, it's selling something, you know, and in this case, it's a health technology product in the water filtration and ionization system. And this system is built around that. And, you know, basically, in our first week, we signed up and we had over, was it $7,000? $6,000 of sales in our first week.
Yeah. 7 days.
To date,
real money.
Real money. And to date, you know, we've been in this for, you know, just a little bit over 6 months.
Yeah.
Although, like, really focused and going hard at it, like, would only be like a month or a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of months.
And, you know, we've done close to
49.
Close to $50,000 in sales.
Yeah.
And this is in our first 6 months. So this system,
that in of itself, exactly, is proof that the system, the funnel converts, works. We don't have to sit there and create the funnels, create all these other information packets of the, yes, we're doing a webinar, yes, we're attracting people that we want to work with to make sure that they're a right fit for us. But ultimately, when you look at the sales, trust me, if Sally and I can do it, there is no reason why you sitting there with an open mind can't do it and achieve the results that we're getting as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important to add that, you know, at the end of the sales funnel, there's actually certified coaches in the back end of this platform who are actually doing that final sales call for us.
Yeah.
And so we're not even having to do a sales call at the end of it, and nor would you be if you went through the process and decided to sign up. And that's the beauty of it. It is built, and it's that to do the work for you. It is that detailed. So
90% done for us.
Yeah.
Not 100% done. Yes,
no.
We still have to do some work. Yes, it's 10% of the work, building our brand, perhaps introducing people to it, but literally 90% done for you. There is no other business structure, especially with all the ones that we looked at, that would come even close to A, the 90% done, but then B, the effectiveness and the efficacy of the conversion, if you will.
Absolutely. And, so really all we are doing is attracting both organic and inorganic internet,
just people,
internet people, and inviting them to a 14-day risk-free trial of the platform. That is it. That is all we're doing. And then the platform itself takes care of the rest.
Answers all the questions you or anybody else might have. Explains the product, explains the commission structure.
Yeah. And when I say organic and organic, I just mean, there's all the training at the back end of this platform to create Facebook ads, to build a brand online. So you wouldn't have to share this with even one family or friend.
But I think we should note there's a lot of people that share it with only family and friends and have never done a Facebook ad or an ad anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, there's people that don't actually want to go to family and friends and do
purely,
only just external marketing, but again, stressing that the training, regardless of which approach you want to do, because it's got to be congruent for you, is all laid out for you in terms of what to do, how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you say were the greatest benefits for you, Dave, like in terms of the actual system and the business?
Well, obviously the 90% done, because who wants to create a funnel from start to finish?
Well, you've tried it. You've tried it.
Well, I'm not a marketer, right? So
yeah.
You're not a marketer.
No.
So that, and then when you sit down, crunch the numbers and actually look at the commissions, unlike anything else we ever looked at.
Oh my God.
And again, we don't have to carry the stock. It's a one-off investment.
Yeah.
You look at the commissions, unbelievable. And the fact that it's 90% done for you. And honestly, I think over time, we're having more and more fun with it.
Absolutely. And
what about you? What are the biggest ones for you?
I mean,
same ones that
everything that you said. I will admit that I had a very well-known essential oil account, an essential oil company account for a very short amount of time. And the biggest frustration I had with that was having to constantly buy product each month to keep my account going and meet the minimum and to actually even have a chance of earning any money. And that's the cool thing about this business is it's one-off investment in product, and then you never lose your rank. Or
we could do nothing for the next 3 years. We're not going anywhere.
No,
like in terms of the rank or where we're at.
Yeah, and we'll still get residual income checks coming in. So that's really, really powerful, and that's probably that's a big thing for me. It's just okay, yes, there is an upfront investment, absolutely. There is no business on the planet that you can start without.
It doesn't matter if you want to invest in stocks, bank notes, anything like a house, you've got to invest upfront.
Yeah. But relatively speaking, it's a very small investment as opposed to a bricks and mortar business, or you're building your own sales funnel, which could cost
tens of thousands,
hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how detailed you go. All done, So I mean that's the benefits really, and for us, I think just to kind of round it out, in terms of why we're doing what we're doing, we've realized how important time and financial freedom are to us, because actually probably our highest value, with Dave being a chiropractor and my own personal journey around health, is wellness. And
our health, and our family's health.
Our family's health, raising our family as we choose, be able to make the choices that we do to, live a holistic, vitalistic lifestyle.
Congruent with our philosophy of how we want to go through life.
Exactly. Yeah. And, this business is so aligned with that, not just because it's in the health technology space, but, just because we're able to create more time, financial freedom to be able to afford the organic food, to be able to
go on the adventures we want to go on, travel where we want to travel,
do what we love, and be able to give back in a way that we choose, rather than being forced to exchange our time for money, to bring in, which was very stressful.
Yeah, on a coaching call for you, or in the clinic seeing patients for me.
Yeah.
So
So the invitation to you today, really, if this resonates for you, if you're like us and you really do want, I mean, because there's people that are retiring from their 40-hour-a-week jobs using the system.
There's been hundreds of people stop working full-time doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah. And, you know, like if that really appeals to you, or if you're in business like I was with my coaching business and you're struggling, or you're like Dave and you want to create a second stream of income that doesn't rely on your hands or exchanging your time for money, then, you know, this could be the most amazing thing that you ever invest in. And all we're actually inviting you to do is to sign up to a 14-day trial of this platform, go through the coaching process, go through the webinars, find out what, you know, more about the product. We could go into a whole bunch of detail about the product. We could go into a whole bunch more detail about the system and how it all works. However, as you'll find, then that's taking away the power of the actual automated system, which is going to answer all of those questions that you have. So exactly. And then if you still have questions at the end, you've got that coaching call and you've got us to support you through the process. And so for us, I mean, to go through the trial, which I should note is $100 US.
Yeah.
And
fully refundable.
That's fully
if it's not for
refundable
you.
within the 14 days if it's not for you.
100%.
We are not going to be pressuring you whatsoever to come on board into our organization, because at the end of the day, we want to work with highly motivated, committed people who really do want to make change in their life and feel that this is 100% aligned for them to be able to do that. Yeah. You know, like there is no other option, you know, in terms of who we want to be working with.
But I think if we leave with anything, it's just that it actually is possible. Mm-hmm. Don't like me, when I first looked at it, like I said before, thought it was too good to be true. It's not. Do the trial, understand the process, the system, the funnel, the product, the commissions, what might be involved, what might not be involved. Mm-hmm. And we promise you it's not too good to be true. It works. People's lives are changing every single day, every single week, every single month.
Yeah. And, you know, so for the people that are due diligence Daves like you,
that's fine.
Like if you really are still a little bit kind of nervous about doing the 14-day trial, you're like, not 100% sure.
Either of us will jump on the phone with you.
Yeah.
30 minutes, whatever it takes. Phone call, no obligation, no pressure, no sales, other than just answering questions you might have before you decide, or helping you decide if the trial might even be right for you or not. But again, you do the trial. No risk, no obligation. Yes, it's $100 US or $99 US.
Yeah.
But you're not locked into anything other than some of your time, which is fair enough to actually learn what you might be getting involved with. Yeah. And then you can make the decision from there, but you will be speaking with someone that answers every single question you would ever have regarding this business.
And, you know, it's important to note that, you know, beyond what is within the system, you know, I mean, Dave, being the chiropractor, he's the scientist in the family, you know, he's got all the studies, all the information on the actual product, you know, and if you're confused whatsoever by the compensation plan, the commissions, any of that kind of stuff, there is just so much information that we can provide to you at the back end to really support you in making a decision that's an aligned fit for you. So just take a look below this webinar video, and you'll see two links. One is to go directly to the 14-day trial to give it a whirl. If you're like me, then you'll be diving straight into that and just giving it a go and seeing what it's all about. Or if you're more like Dave and you just want to ask a few more questions before you commit to the 14-day trial, then you can click on the link, which will take you through to a calendar to book you in for a call. It's that simple.
Easy.
Easy peasy. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for your time. Listening to us ramble on.
Yeah. Is there anything else, Dave, that we need to?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to stress, we only want to work with people that actually want to create change in their life. And no, you don't have to sink in 20 hours a week into this. Yes, there's some financial investment up front, but there are hundreds, if not thousands of people, and more over time, doing what we're doing, creating massive, massive change for themselves, their families, those around them, and ultimately going back to the more time for themselves, more financial freedom for themselves. So be open to it, learn about it, and watch what happens.
Absolutely. So thanks so much.
Thanks for listening.
And we will chat again soon.